guys, it's Anne. I am feeling really nervous to make today's video. Like, this is a topic that people are feeling a lot of really strong emotions about, and I think that's totally justified and understandable because I think hair is a really emotional topic, especially like natural hair, because you know, it's just like one of those things that involves a lot of like your identity and a lot of like self-acceptance and stuff, and all those are really like highly emotional topics, and I really understand and like relate to that. And so I don't want to come across in this video at all like I'm discrediting people's stories or discounting people's experiences or saying that people are wrong or anything like that. I just think that every experience on this like kind of topic is important, and I just have some like thoughts and feelings that I haven't been able to like shake, and I just think it's important for me to say my perspective on it, even though, I mean, like, who am I, you know? And I totally recognize that, and I just think the more voices on a topic like this, the better, and I think I just would not feel right if I let this go by without talking about my thoughts on it. And the topic is, I'm sure you know what it is because it's in the title and that's why you clicked on this video, but today we're going to be talking about the Devacurl sort of like controversy, or the Devacurl scandal. I've been using Devacurl truly exclusively for about 3 years. I have not regularly heat styled my hair. This is my natural hair texture. I just washed it today. And I haven't like manipulated my natural hair texture for longer than that. Probably since I was in like sophomore year of high school. So probably like 7 years. And you know, it's been a journey like it has for all of us. I've kind of gone through phases. About 3 years ago, I got really serious about wanting my natural hair texture to look its best. And I cut I had a significant haircut, which wasn't really like a big chop because I wasn't really cutting hair that was damaged from heat or anything, or relaxer or anything like that. I just wanted to cut my hair, and these things kind of coincided more as like a coincidence. So I did a big haircut. My hair was the shortest it's ever been, basically, and I went to someone who has become a friend and also the greatest like hair influence in my life, and I'm gonna talk more about her, but I'm not gonna say her name, just out of respect for her. She's a hairstylist and she only cuts curly hair, and she uses Diva products, and I think we have a pretty similar perspective on a lot of things, including this. She's kind of how I got introduced to Devacurl products, and I just started going to her, started buying the products, started using them, and she uses them because she thinks they're straightforward. She's kind of all about like simplicity and straightforwardness with hair care, which totally speaks to me and how I like my hair routine to be. So for the last 3 years, I've only used Low Poo Delight and One Condition Delight, the lighter conditioner, and then the Ultra Defining Gel, and then Mr. Right, which is like a refreshing mist. So that's basically been my whole hair routine for 3 years. Have really enjoyed the results from it. This is my hair on wash day. It's a dress. Oh, clearly my hair is color treated. I do the color myself. I've always loved having color in my hair, and I decided I really wanted to do this, and so I did. And my hair has been all green. This is grow out from almost a year, and before that I had just the ends green for like a year before that. So the green is like totally separate from all of this. But my hair is compromised by bleach. At least like the vast majority of it has been bleached, but I don't continue to bleach it. I just touch it up with overtone. So the color of my hair is not really part of this conversation, but obviously I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. I didn't notice a big change in my hair texture when I bleached it. Haven't had any problems with using Devacurl products. Haven't had any problems with my scalp, no dandruff, no irritation, no like eczema symptom. Hair texture hasn't, I mean, my hair texture has changed as it's grown. This is growth from about a year, so it's grown a lot in the last year. Haven't noticed any major changes with like my hair's density or thickness. I haven't noticed any major like or unusual hair loss. I haven't had any like hormonal problems or like otherwise health problems that would lead to those kinds of things, and I haven't noticed them. And I just continued to use Devacurl, and while I have enjoyed the results from my Devacurl products, not had any like negative effects from them, I don't really like love anything about Devacurl either. Sort of similar to like my hairstylist who I was mentioning, I think that they are straightforward and simple and reliable, but really like unexciting. I don't like love talking about them. I love my hair, but I like the maintenance of it to feel pretty straightforward. I love, you know, skincare and makeup, and that's a big part of what this channel is about. And it's just not about like hair care, because I don't find styling curly hair to be like particularly exciting. I just do it and I hope it looks good and, you know, keep going along. I choose to wear my hair in its natural texture because it's easier and I like the way that it looks. If there was products that were in more beautiful packaging, that smelled better, and that were more kind of like fun and exciting to use, I would use them over Devacurl. I have no like really strong brand loyalty to Devacurl, except in the sense that they just keep working for me. So if they didn't continue to work for me, I would look for something else. And I think part of what makes Devacurl so like deeply rooted in the curly hair world for a lot of people is that they just create these products that kind of check all the boxes that we look for. That's what drew me to them, and that's what drew my hairstylist to them, and that's why I've continued to use them. So it's not a situation of like, I'm like, I love Devacurl, so I feel that I need to like come to their defense in this situation. That there's a lot that we can kind of glean from this situation that is really important as people who consume beauty content online. It's why I have used Devacurl and kind of my experience with Devacurl, and the reason why I plan to continue using Devacurl is because experts that I trust say it's okay. So my hairstylist is a huge person in my life who I trust with my hair. She's not only an expert on curly hair, but she's also somebody who's really delved into like scalp health, like hair loss, and those kinds of topics as well. So she has just a lot of knowledge on a lot of the topics that are like at issue in this whole scenario. She has basically said that a product applied topically to your skin on your scalp can't cause, it's just not, there's no evidence to support the idea that it could cause the kind of hair loss that people are claiming that it could. Hair loss is caused internally. It's caused like at your follicle level, which is not the same as like the surface of the skin on your scalp, to my understanding. Lots of things can cause hair loss, and I think hair loss and other like scalp issues are a lot more common than we kind of realize they are, because it's so kind of stigmatized, especially, and so emotional, like I was saying earlier, especially like as women and as people who like love our hair. Dealing with things like hair loss and scalp issues and stuff like that can feel really like stigmatizing, and so people don't talk about it. But hair loss is very common from all kinds of factors, including hormonal issues, stress, putting your hair up a certain way, other things going on in your body. I've seen comments from people in like the group, the Devacurl group, about like, oh, like I was diagnosed with anemia and I'm experiencing hair loss, but I think it's because of Devacurl products. People like Dr. Dre on YouTube, who's a dermatologist, have said similar things. Hair loss is not caused by hair products. So the other thing I really want to make clear is if you are experiencing a reaction to these products, like an allergic reaction, don't use them. Like, I'm not saying that anybody should be using Devacurl. Like I said earlier, I'm not even like married to the idea of using Devacurl. These entities are very neutral to me, and I hope I'm making that clear. So lots of experts have said similar things about how these claims and the ingredients of these products just aren't matching up. Like, nothing in these products or about these products could lead to the kinds of experiences that people are having, except for the fact that not cleansing your scalp can cause clogged follicles and lead to hair loss. So if you're using like the No Poo or another like cleansing conditioner, that can cause scalp issues. So I would recommend clarifying your scalp weekly, which Low Poo has surfactants in it that clarify the scalp, and that's what I've always used. And there's other like shampoo options out there. My hairstylist also has said that really she thinks that people aren't cleansing their scalps enough, and that is causing negative effects on their scalp. So even like cleansing once a week is probably not enough to really have like optimum scalp health. People who I trust with my hair and with my health have, you know, said over and over again that these products are no different than any other hair products, any other mass market hair products that are out there. So in terms of like the ingredients, if you are gonna go from Devacurl to another like mass market hair care brand, don't really like expect the ingredients to be that much different, because they're pretty much like what you see in hair care products. I've been looking into this a lot. I think this has really kind of like captured my attention, and I find it really fascinating. And some people are saying that what's causing this has actually nothing to do with the ingredients in the products, and actually has to do with the plastic bottles that they've been packaging in, is somehow leaching chemicals into the product, something into the product, and that's what's causing people to have this reaction. My understanding, based on what I've read from experts, is that that's not very likely. That's not really like a thing that can happen. The other like potential thing is that some of the ingredients are not what they say they are. Maybe like the suppliers that Devacurl uses changed something about their supply, and so even though the ingredients look fine, there's something else in there that's not disclosed, maybe even to Devacurl themselves, that is causing this. I think as like this like mass hysteria around it is unfounded. It just none of the like theories for why this is happening are compelling to me, which brings me to kind of like the main ingredients that people think are causing this in like the Facebook group that I mentioned earlier, which if you've looked into this at all, you've probably seen or found. And one of the big ones are formaldehyde releasing preservatives. There's a couple different ones in different Devacurl products, and that sounds really scary when you see like formaldehyde releasers, but I've done a lot of research on formaldehyde releasers. First of all, they're preservatives. And preservatives are really important in beauty products. Otherwise, your products would go bad, and then it would be harmful to you. And I think preservatives get a really bad rap in cosmetics. A couple of years ago, I worked at Lush. Lush uses parabens in their products still to now. And what we always were told to tell customers about why Lush chooses to use parabens is because they are proven to be safe, and they've been used for a long time, and other preservatives on the market are, you know, less tested. We know less about them. And a lot of those other preservatives that allow companies to say that their products are paraben free are formaldehyde releasing preservatives. It elicits a strong reaction, especially to curly haired consumers, because formaldehyde is used in like relaxers. And the other ingredient is sodium hydroxide, which is lye. It's like caustic soap. It's another one where it's used to balance the pH of the product, safe in the concentrations that are used, and it's a very common ingredient. Phenoxyethanol is another one. These are all ingredients that you know, are kind of like becoming those like buzzword no ingredients. And that brings me to one of the kind of like larger conversations that this brings up in my mind, which is the clean beauty movement and how it's problematic. Clean beauty represents to me this huge amount of fear mongering and like greenwashing that brands do, that's all marketing to make us fear for our health when there's no real reason to. And I just think that that kind of like marketing that elicits fear is manipulative and leads people to make choices that are not actually benefiting them. Lab Muffin Beauty Science has also talked a lot about this in a really eloquent way, and I just think it's so important to really do that research, resist being told that things are scary or that things are unhealthy when they're not. And a lot of the conversation around this whole Devacurl thing centers around like the Think Dirty app. Like some of the most potentially irritating or damaging ingredients in Devacurl products and in lots of other cosmetic products are fragrance, especially natural fragrant essential oils. Those can definitely cause your scalp some issues, but that's not what anybody is talking about, because it's all about demonizing words that sound scary. I think it takes a lot of agency away from people. It's based on this premise that consumers are dumb and that they will just buy into this fear mongering because they don't know any better. And that bothers me because consumers aren't dumb. That brings me to kind of like the next big thing that bothers me about this, which is when something like this pops off online, anything like this becomes a thing online, it becomes this like mob mentality. So what I was talking about earlier with that girl who had experienced a health issue that leads to hair loss legitimately, but was like, oh, but it's probably Devacurl. I think we get wrapped up in these scandals and just allow ourselves to kind of become a mob and have this mob mentality against this like bad entity, whatever it is, because it feels good to be a part of like a movement, to be a part of something where there's like a bad guy, and just not think critically about if that's really true or what really might be going on. We really need to be careful about these big like online controversies. It's important to hold people or brands accountable for their actions. I think that's totally important. I'm like all about that. There's lots of like makeup brands that I don't shop from, for example, because for ethical reasons, but just doing so blindly, I think, is where you run into really big problems. Now, again, not that like Devacurl is so great and they don't deserve what's happening to them. I don't think that they deserve what's happening to them, but I also don't really think that they're that great. I just think that they're a brand like any other, and they create products that have worked for me and continue to work for me and work for a lot of people, and there's no reason to sort of like blindly, without having experienced it yourself. I've heard dozens of influencers say that they have not experienced these, like the symptoms that people say Devacurl is causing them, but they're going to stop using Devacurl anyway. And I just don't really like see why. I don't see any compelling reason in like all the research that I've done into ingredients and into people's stories and into other circumstances surrounding this controversy. I just have not seen a really good reason to be like, okay, like I'm done with this brand, especially to throw away my products or quit using them. Someone said like don't donate them, you know, and that is just like creates this kind of insane amount of waste. And so I do want to see like some testing done on these products. I think more like because when I was first looking into this, I was like, okay, like everybody's saying this, or many people are saying this, but why? And it took me so much like digging to find just the ingredients that I mentioned to you in this video. It seems like a lot of people aren't really asking like why would this be happening? And I would really like for some like independent person to look into this and really like, you know, test the products or something. I just think that like answers would be great, like more concrete answers. And if something comes out that's more concrete about a certain batch of the products or something, or all of them, I would be happy to stop using them. But I just don't see that. I'm not seeing that from any resource. I just think with issues like this, it's so important to think really critically about it and to just be really critical in general of what people say online, what brands say, what your experience is, and just like follow your intuition about stuff like this. I hope that I'm being clear. And like I said, I'm not telling anybody to use Devacurl. I'm just speaking from my perspective, which is that Devacurl has been a really great product for me. This is what I've found through my research. I really hope I'm being clear, and I hope that you guys have a good day. I would really like to hear more perspectives on this. Like I said, this has been really fascinating to me, and I'm really nervous to make this video, but I'm also excited because I think it's an important conversation to be having. And yeah, I will see you guys soon with a new video that hopefully will be more just different from this. Yeah, bye.